Hey Excel Geeks, this is Jack and I'm here today to talk about OA Robot. We're going to run through a full setup from start to finish. Let's go. At the time of recording, OA Robot is currently under beta release. If you are on that beta list or wish to be on that beta list, go to oarobot.com and you may get access prior to the public release. Once it's available to you, either in beta access or under public release, you'll be able to download an executable file in order to set up OA Robot. Note that OA Robot is designed to work on Microsoft Excel for Office 365 on Windows 10 and Windows 11 machines. Let's set it up. First, run your executable. Here, it produces a normal installation window, generates installation files which connect into your Excel and provides a getting started guide. After you finish, it opens up Excel for you with the new getting started guide, which covers everything that we'll be covering in this video. Welcome to OA Robot. You can check that OA Robot has installed by checking the top right hand corner of your ribbon where you should see Robot Commands. OA Robot can be launched in one of two ways, either through the ribbon button or by pressing Ctrl-Shift-O. This will open About OA Robot until you've registered. So let's get registered. Begin your registration by clicking Register Now. The standard license is the license which is publicly available to everyone for free. Let's get started by entering our email address. Enter your email address where I've put the yellow block. Review your license agreement and terms of use and confirm that, and then continue. Now you will receive a verification code in the mail. Go to your email account, wait for the verification code to come through, and enter your verification code into OA Robot. The continue button will be grayed out until your verification code has been verified and the code has been accepted. At that point, you can hit continue. Congratulations, you've set up OA Robot and you've registered your OA Robot license. Once you've hit finish, you will now have Getting Started with OA Robot spreadsheet open in Excel, and you can work through the step-by-step process that we're going to go through in the rest of this video. As we mentioned, there's two ways to launch OA Robot. One is to use Robot Commands in the top right hand of the ribbon. The other is to press Ctrl-Shift-O. This will bring up a window that looks like this. You can then move OA Robot around the screen by clicking on the robot's face and moving him to the point at which you want him. To resize OA Robot, we can simply resize the window as you would any other window. To close OA Robot, you may either click the X at the top right, hit Escape, or click anywhere else in your Excel window. OA Robot's designed to be used with your own commands that you create over time. However, there are some that are readily available to us out of the box, and these are provided as command collections with special codes in order to enter them. So in order to add a code, we run OA command and we hit the plus button to enter a setup code. The code that you see in your Getting Started with OA Robot spreadsheet is the one that you should use to get the latest Getting Started command collection, and select OK. I can see on my other screen something that has said command collection setup completed, and you've already added your first commands. As you can see, you can use a command or a microautomation to do many things in Excel. These commands are then organized into command collections. Command collections are stored in Excel workbooks, which you can then share with your friends and colleagues. Let's have a look at your command collections. Bringing up OA Robot, in order to view what your command collections are, you can use the @ symbol or click the @ symbol on the left hand side to get a list of your command collections. Currently, I have available to me the Getting Started command collection, Array Robot, Formula Robot, and Lambda Robot. In order to add a command collection, you can type in @ and plus, and this will allow you to register a local file containing robot commands. Additionally, you can hit plus at the start to get a setup code for a command collection that has been provided with the code. As you can see, when you open OA Robot, after you've added a few collections, you start to get rather a large amount of commands. You may one day choose to get rid of some of these. This can be done by going into the @ menu to show command collections, or using the @ symbol to get there, and this will show you a list of your command collections. Here you will be able to uncheck any command collections which you don't wish to see in your list, or you should be able to right click and disable or remove unregister them for certain command collections. Next, we're going to look at how we can search some commands. OA Robot includes a hyper search feature which has incredibly flexible search capabilities, meaning that you can find any commands with just a few keystrokes. You can search for your commands based on words or partial words. You can search for them based on acronyms, based on the command name, or you can actually set up a custom launch code to match your commands. Launch codes are assigned when the command is created by the designer of the command. So let's try a few out. First, we're going to select this text over here, and we're going to run the auto fit column width command. So Ctrl+Shift+O to bring up OA Robot, and then we start typing in AFCW, and auto fit column width comes up automatically. Another way that we can search for this is the launch code, as you can see on the right, are the letters A and F. So we just type in AF, and auto fit column width will be the first one to appear. Another way that we can search for this is if we just look for width, because we can't remember what we wanted, and it comes up with that command. When the command is highlighted, you press enter in order to run the command. As you've noticed, while I was typing in a lot of those commands earlier, it was filtering the commands based on what information we were providing. So if we have quite a few commands, let's say for example we want to look at any commands to do with cells, we can start typing in cell, and we will find our list of all commands which include cells in the title. We have mark as input cells, make cells pretty, count cells with numbers, and count non-empty cells. You can use the hashtag key or click hashtag filters to filter by commands using tags, or you can use the exclamation key or click exclamation filters based on the command type. So let's have a look at those. The hashtag key here, again, all of the items on the left hand side of the bar are symbols which you can type in order to jump directly to that section. So we can look at the hashtag section by either pressing hashtag or clicking on it. This lets us see the tags on the commands that we have. So for example, if we only want to look at commands that are fun and games, we can go into the fun and games section. The exclamation allows us to look at a type of commands. So in this case, a lot of the commands that we're working with on the standard license will be formula commands. What we can also have in addition to that is a wide range of commands. These can include DAX queries, .NET scripts, Python, things specific to Excel tables, OpenAI chat, VBA, Power Query, sequence, switch commands. Some of these commands are only available at different levels, but at the standard license, we'll mostly be working with formula commands, in which case we would be filtering this out purely to the formula commands. And this shows us all the Excel formula commands. Next, we're going to hit up my favorite section. I am a person who absolutely hates documentation, and this is what I love about OA Robot the most. Here we are going to press the dreaded F1 key to get help on our commands or our command collections. The thing is, we don't have to spend hours making lots and lots of documentation. The documentation for your commands or your command collections is auto-generated. Let's have a look, shall we? We're going to start out with the say hello. All we do is get to say hello, and instead of pressing enter to run it, we press F1. And what will happen is OA Robot starts generating help documentation just for the say hello function. And there we go. It tells us what say hello does, opens a message box with hello contents of name range, and gives the information about this. You can then navigate directly to other points in the documentation with greater detail on the macros that are used, on an MD documentation that can be uploaded to GitHub, and so on. You can use the same F1 function on any of your command collections as a whole collection. So let's go and have a look at the getting started command collection, which we're working through today. And we're going to press F1 on that. And we're going to give OA Robot a second to generate the documentation, and it will tell us what we have in OA Robot getting started command collection. As you can see, we've got 11 robot commands. There's 8 robot texts and 3 robot images, and it generates documentation on all of the commands and information around that. With each of these commands, these are clickable links that go straight to the information, and it tells you what you have available to you, and then goes into the detail of all of these commands. What got me really excited when I first found this feature is that as you create your commands, you can add links to your metadata, including links to videos or additional documentation, or any way to connect your commands and connect to your GitHub and so on. And these all get automatically incorporated into this full documentation that auto-generates for your command collection. In addition to being able to auto-generate your documentation, you can actually access help articles from within OA Robot where these have been set up and are linked in. On the left-hand side, the very last icon there is a question mark. So if we select the question mark, it then gives us some information about help articles that have been written for specific commands. Documentation has never been this much fun. Now we're going to see using some of these commands in action. So the getting started command collection has a few commands just for testing out in the workbook and seeing what you can do with your commands. Let's run through what they've got in this sheet just to see how it works. The very first cell we're going to work with, we're going to run the make cell pretty. And as you can see in our documentation, this applies pretty formatting to the active cell. So we're selecting the cell, Ctrl-Shift-O to launch OA Robot, and then we're just going to type in MCP to make cell pretty. The launch code for this is MP, so we could go straight to typing in MP or just type in the word pretty. Once make cell pretty is selected, just press enter, and ta-da, the cell has been made pretty. The second command that we're going to run is the what's up command. We'll take this name, Andrew and I, and insert what's up in front of it. So Ctrl-Shift-O and then start typing what's up. And in this case, what's up's the first one that comes up when you press W, so we just press enter straight away. As you can see, it now says what's up, Andrew and I. Now we're going to run multiple commands at once. We're going to run the last 2 commands. We're going to make this cell pretty, and we're going to say what's up, Jim and Early. Let's have a go. Ctrl-Shift-O. As you can see, we've got what's up and make cell pretty. So we shift to select both of these commands and we hit enter to run them both. And as you can see, the cell is now pretty and says what's up in it. We've now got a cell that says David Brown. Now I don't want to open up robot command again. I've just run all of these commands over and over. I don't want to be pressing even these super short keyboard shortcuts to try and get these commands running. I just want to press F4. So all I'm going to do is press F4. And as you can see, it's run the last set of commands that I ran, which was make cell pretty and what's up on the latest cell without me needing to even open robot to do it. Finally, we have a list here of Microsoft Excel World Championship contestants. All of these guys. And we've got them in the order of first name, last name. Let's say your boss wants to see this as last name, comma, first name. So all we're going to do is highlight the entire selection, press Ctrl-Shift-O, and now I know that there's a last name, first name thing going on in here because it says so above there. So I'm just going to start typing in last name, first name. The very first thing that comes up is last name, comma, first name. So I'm just going to hit enter. And as you can see, it's now replaced all the contents with the last name, comma, first name. Isn't that amazing? Now, if you're feeling super excited about OA Robot and you can't wait to get your hands in there and start making commands of your own to do all of the things that you can imagine in Excel, I'm going to show you how to create a simple command to get you started. So, I've created a spreadsheet. I'm calling it textcollection.xlsx, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create my first command in this command collection workbook. Let's open up OA Robot. Now we're going to hit plus in order to start adding something, and we're going to hit plus a second time because we want to add a command rather than a command collection text parameter or other components. So let's start with this. Plus plus gives us a command. Now under the standard license we only have Excel formula commands available. If you wish to upgrade, you can see there are many more options under the Pro license or the Enterprise license items. For now, let's have a go with Excel formula command. The command that I'm thinking that we do today is to wrap something in a sequence. So let's say we have a number in cell B3 and we actually want to list from the number 1 to the number whatever that number is. We're going to do a wrap in sequence function. So to set up a new command, all we've done is gone plus plus, hit enter on Excel formula command, and now we have command properties. We assign this a name. So we're going to start with wrap in sequence. The description here will be wrap current value in sequence formula. We're going to keep this in our test collection command collection. It's going to be an Excel formula type of command, and then for the launch code I want to use WS for wrap in sequence. I would also like to just use SEQ in case I just want to go seek instead of equals sequence for what I've got. What I will do is also, while I'm in here, I'm going to start adding all the metadata that I need so that when it generates my formula, my help functions, it's got a lot of information in there to get started with. So we're going to add a couple of tags. We're going to go with sequence. We're going to go with wrap because we are doing a wrap around an existing function or an existing value. And let's go with that. In the formula, what we're going to do is we're typing equal sequence, active cell, semicolon, semicolon, formula, close brackets. This is not R1C1, so we're not going to do that. We're not applying a destination range address because what we're doing is we're putting it in the current cell. What we can do is use a destination range address to say, actually, we want to use the next kind of available cell to the right. There are some codes and bits that you can use to have that work as well. You can specify a number format, convert to values. You can scroll to your destination, that's automatically selected, and then we have some more advanced properties that you can get used to as you start making more of your own commands. I'm going to click OK on this one, and that's going to be our command. As you can see, we now have wrap in sequence available in OA Robot. So what I'm going to do here is go into cell B3. We're going to type in the number 23 because that's my lucky number, and we're going to go Control-Shift-O. Now we can either just hit enter because OA Robot magically remembers that the last thing I did was wrap in sequence and goes, hey, do you want to do that again? So we can just hit enter on that, or we can start typing in WS. We can type in sequence. This will come up using the hyper search functionality in any way that we actually call on it. And as you can see, it's generated a sequence list from that formula and hard coded that. So we now have the numbers 1 to 23 in a sequence. And that is included in our first command collection. Congratulations, you've written your first command. If you want to edit your command, you can go back over your command and hit F2, and that will bring up your command. This also allows you to look at other commands that you maybe want to try and dissect and work out how those were created so that you can create some of your own. I'm going to turn off convert to values. It's on auto. I'm going to turn it to no. And what I will do in this one is I will now try and do 23 again. Control Shift O, wrap in sequence. And this time round, you can see instead of automatically converting that to a sequence of fixed numbers 1 to 23, it now creates it as equals sequence 23. So what we could do, for example, is this could be part of a larger calculation process where, for example, I'm getting the median number from this array that we've set up. And let's say I want to add sequence to that. Control Shift O, SEQ, wrap in sequence, and there's my sequence. And what that does is it retains the median function that I put in there, as well as the sequence function, which is now wrapped around the outside. Isn't that great? We've done it. The great thing about command curation means that you can take these commands that you find valuable and you can pass these to other colleagues, to other friends, to other Excel competitors who might be able to use those in the same way that you've been using them. In order to share this, all you really need to do is pass your workbook with the commands that you've created across to whoever you're sharing it with. If they don't have OA Robot, they won't see the commands. It will still be a usable workbook and still have all the functionality in it that you have in that workbook. But the additional commands then become available to them if they have OA Robot installed. Do remember that when you're creating your commands, you can also add descriptions, images, animations, links, and that will help support the use and reuse of your commands, as well as really fleshing out that documentation. Congratulations! You've now installed OA Robot, registered a command collection, searched for commands, run commands, and you've even created your own command. So now we have some extra collections that you can get in the last sheet of your Getting Started with OA Robot spreadsheet. These codes will be available in your version of the workbook after you've downloaded OA Robot. Coming soon, we're planning more videos on which commands you can get included in the standard release command collections that are available on this page. Additionally, we'll be running a series throughout November targeting Lambda collections and how we can create our own Lambda commands, so keep an eye out for that one. Please check the last page of your Getting Started with OA Robot for more information, and the links for OA Robot and Excel Robot are available below this video as well as in the last page of your Getting Started with OA Robot sheet. Good luck and have fun. The robots are coming. Don't forget to tune in throughout November for some fun Lambda robot action, as well as some special guest stars who will be coming in to show us what they've made during their beta testing. Thank you. The robots are coming.